Please note that this content is for educational purposes and for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. More details available in the description box.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream with me, Grizzly. This is Grizzly True Crime. Today we've got another case to look at where there's an alleged online predator enticing minors to drive very far to meet them, and it's just absolutely horrifying. And I will not stop talking about these cases because I think there's a lot to learn from cases like this. Let me just quickly, I'm going to give you a little preview of what we're going to watch, okay? Check this out just as a visual. We do like visual. Look at this. Wait, let me put the sound on. Check this out.
This minor on the app TikTok, and just to kind of give you guys a visual, this is March 10th. This is one day of text messages back and forth.
Look at that. That's one day of text messages printed out. One day of messages back and forth. Like, oh my word. Now, before we look at that press conference, which was actually from March 27th of 2025, I actually have a presentation for you. So hold on one second. Thank you so much all for being here. Please like and share so others know that we are live right now and that they can also catch this information. As I say, there's always lessons to be learned, especially, you can't even call it the rise of social media. Social media is very much here. It's very much here to stay. And as we say, a 13-year-old can have a YouTube channel, can have a TikTok account, can have all these social media apps. That's the minimum age. So education is key. I don't think control is key. I think education is key. If these kids can learn just how badly this can go and what to look out for, I think it can help a lot, right? Okay, sorry if my voice comes and goes a little bit. Jill, you've taken notice. You said sorry you have a cold. Sorry, everyone. Yes, I missed you yesterday, but I was also resting. So now let's get into what on earth this case is about. Are we ready? Angel Lopez, 19 years old. It's a hard 19. Wait till you see him in court. I've got a little clip from him there. I'm like, 19? Bro, 19 going on, I don't know what, 40? On March 10th of 2025, 19-year-old Angel Lopez from Philadelphia started communicating with a 13-year-old girl on TikTok, a popular social media app, in case you guys didn't know. The police say that over 4 days, there were thousands of messages sent between the two. And by March 14th, within 4 days from the first interaction, okay, Angel Lopez had sent an Uber to pick the victim up so that she could visit him. He instructed her to leave a note for her family, claiming that she was running away and that they should not look for her. She did write a note saying, "I promise I'm safe and please don't look for me." She lived in Greensburg, Westmoreland County in Pennsylvania, and so the approximate $462 ride to his apartment in Philadelphia took about 4 hours and 10 minutes. It's about 278 miles or 447 kilometers. That's actually pretty damn far, right? And see, he was pushing her like, but I love you and all these things. You know, we're going to get to that. He's telling her he loves her. He says, but I've sent you an Uber. I paid for it. So they, you know what, it's that fear factor. It's first the love bombing and then the pushing to send explicit content. And then in comes the fear factor. They always operate like that. In comes the coercive control of like, okay, but now I've paid for an Uber and it is coming to fetch you, whether you like it or not, type of thing, you know? Carla, thank you for being a member for 20 months. And so she wrote that note and she took the Uber picked her up, and the victim's mother actually reported her missing the very next morning. When the mother woke up, she was like, holy crap, she saw the note and reported her missing. So this mother did amazing. And this mother is also not blaming the victim, which is really great because sometimes parents can get very upset with the kids themselves. But this mother says, just give me 5 minutes with him. I like her vibe. She's a grizzly. So they're not showing her. I've got a little clip of her speaking, the mother, because they want to protect the identity of course, the victim, right? Okay, so luring the victim. The victim told the police that Angel Lopez had asked her to send him explicit content when they had started texting. The police showed the stack of paper of printed messages, 1,862 pages of messages between the two in just one day. He told her that he loved her and he would pay for an Uber to pick her up and come visit him. When she expressed apprehension to meet him, he threatened to take his own life if she did not comply. Now that sounds familiar. We recently, we deep dived the case of a young pregnant teen. I normally, once they are found, I try to protect their identity as much as possible. I normally remove the streams and everything, right? But I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. And so if you followed the case with me, that one as well, I could say the perpetrator's name, Gary Day, that 40-year-old, did the same thing. He's like, if you don't, if I can't come pick you up, I'm going to take my own life. So they even do that absolute guilt tripping, right? Couple says, I don't text that much in 10 years. That's a lot of pages, right? So when she was like, I don't really know if I want to meet you, he said, that's it, he's going to take his own life if she doesn't. I mean, holy crap. So, yeah, saying that escalated quickly is an understatement. The amount of overwhelming messages, the pushing, the coercion online must be so frightening for these kids. I mean, she was only 13, right? Okay, so he suggested that they move to a different state together in a couple of months. Like, whoa, back off, bro. That is a huge red flag. When somebody wants to move this fast as well, let alone a predator online, anybody, it's a huge red flag for coercive control later, right? Anyway, so he's suggesting that he's in love with her and they're going to move to a different state together, they're going to run away, and that he's sending an Uber to pick her up. Angel Lopez told the victim he did not want her to take any electronic devices with her to Philadelphia. Yeah, okay, serial killer, like what the hell? This guy talks like a serial killer already. He's 19 years old and he's like, do not take any of your electronic devices with you. Just get in the Uber without it. Thankfully, she didn't listen to him. She took her phone. He texted her, I want you to leave no trace behind. That's freaking creepy, right? Oh, wow. I want you to leave no trace behind. Okay. Thankfully, as I say, she didn't listen. She took her phone with her. Now, she allegedly snuck out of the house at approximately 12:30 a.m., so just 30 minutes past midnight on March 14th, 4 days after the conversations between the two had started. The investigation has revealed that communication between the victim and the alleged predator started on TikTok and later included other apps like Wiz. We've heard that before. I feel like it was in the Delphi case when we went through the Kegan-Klein transcripts. Remember that? He was using Snapchat, Telegram, and Wiz. I remember reading about Wiz. So it's just social media apps. We're not trying to shade one or the other because pretty much every single one of them is dangerous, right? For this type of thing, which is why I think education is key. Thank you so much, Ash. I really appreciate that. So the investigation revealed that they, so it starts on TikTok and then we see that MO so often when now let's move to another app. And then it's text messages. I don't know if it's phone calls eventually, but then eventually text messages. Through the brainwashing techniques and the luring of this child through all these text messages, he convinced her to do that and make a 4.5-hour drive from the city of Greensburg to Philly. Greensburg Police Detective Justin Scalzo said. So that push, it really must feel very scary, especially teenagers, kids, they're still learning to set boundaries. I mean, some adults still are, right? So it's like learning to set the boundaries and he's just pushing, but I love you and we're going to run away together and I will take my own life if you don't come and visit me, and you already showed me photos of yourself and videos of yourself. So we're in it now. Oh my, this is why I say it's important to tell kids that they have a safe space to talk if this ever happens to them, because they get pushed into a corner and I'm sure they feel very, very alone, right? I'm sure many of us can relate to some of this in some way. Okay, so yeah, there he is again, and that's a picture actually of the apartments, where he stayed, Regency Village Apartments on Ogons Avenue. So if you're local, let me know. If you're from Philadelphia, let me know. This case takes place in Pennsylvania. So yeah, this is public record. YouTube, I'm not showing anything that I can't be showing. Now, at his apartment, trigger warning, because there will be themes discussed of sexual assault and this predator's behavior. Okay? So when the victim got to his 5th floor apartment, and that's actually the elevator picture from that building that I found. Oh my word, it's just an elevator. But just knowing that she was probably in there, shame, 13 years old, holy crap. When the victim got to his 5th floor apartment on Ogons Street in Philadelphia, he told her to turn her phone off. He then made sexual advances on her already in the elevator. when she said she wanted to leave, so she felt uncomfortable immediately and said she wanted to leave. This is all based on a criminal complaint document and her telling the police her whole experience, okay? So he is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I'm just relaying what was in that document, cited on multiple public record media articles and all of that, all right? So she says, ooh, I want to leave, and he says, they won't be able to find you anyway. Like, I just cannot believe the language of this guy. 19 years old, and Lofty Mom says, there he looks extremely old. Like, that is a hard 19. 19! Look at that guy. Oh my word. I mean, what? I hope they keep him behind bars for a very long time, because his escalation in behavior and what he is alleged to have done here is really very scary. And as her mother says, the victim's mother, this can't be his first time either. I mean, he's got this whole MO down, like, leave your electronic devices behind. I'm going to send an Uber. When you get there, turn your cell phone off. And he's all obsessed with washing off of DNA and things like that. So, again, she's in the elevator. He starts making sexual advances. She says, I want to leave. And he says, they won't be able to find you anyway. He also then started hitting himself and said that he's a boxer. That is so manipulative and threatening, because not only would be that's so confusing for a child to be like, damn, this guy's now harming himself, but he's also telling me he's a boxer, so I better watch my step. You know what I mean? It's that fear factor and guilt all wrapped in one. He offered her several hits of a weed pen, told her to take a shower, then he sexually assaulted her multiple times, which the victim said felt really weird and was extremely uncomfortable. She felt extremely uncomfortable and was disgusted throughout the encounter. I hope he hears that every day for the rest of his life. Disgusted by you. Extremely uncomfortable, you freaking weirdo. He then instructed her to shower to wash his DNA off. So not only is he not that smart and doesn't watch any true crime ever, he thinks he's smart because he's like, leave your cell phone at home. Turn your cell phone. Oh, you brought your cell phone. Turn that off. Wash yourself. Then he sexually assaults her multiple times and offers her drugs. What? And then he's like, okay, now you got to wash yourself again to just get all that DNA off. Bruh, they are so going to get you. And they did. They did. But how incredibly terrifying for a little girl, 13 years old. So yeah, he then instructed her to shower to wash his DNA off. So now let's hear how she escaped, because this is a really great, thankfully, escape story. Because this really could have been, in my opinion, a homicide case based on the things that he was saying. I want you to leave no trace behind. Like, what the hell? Arizona gal said, thank you for going live. I hope you feel better soon. Grizzly, say hello to the cute cats for me. Thank you so much. I will. I really appreciate that. So the victim said that she was in fear for her life. At some point, she really felt like, holy crap, I'm going to be murdered. So she started pulling out strands of her hair and scattered it around the alleged predator's bedroom. And her thinking at age 13 was, in case they never find me, at least they'll find my DNA in here. That is, she was so brave. And that is just so forward thinking as well, because of course that would then save other victims' lives if that happened. But shame to even be put in that position. I mean, this is so scary. But to think, okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull my hair out to leave some DNA behind, especially with him saying, wash off my DNA and they'll never find you. Yeah, she already outsmarted him. Right then and there. She's like, yeah, I'm going to pull my hair out and put it all over your bedroom. So she told the police that she escaped his apartment when she heard someone in the apartment complex hallway. And she hoped that as she bolted out of that apartment that they would see her and call 911. Now, police say that they've got surveillance footage of when she was at the apartment and leaving the apartment, but it hasn't been released to the public, firstly. And I don't know if she actually had bolted out and if anyone had seen her. Those details, they're keeping a little bit vague, of course, because they're protecting the investigation. But she did manage to actually leave the apartment and get out of there. So officers in Philadelphia were then able to, at the same time as this is happening, they were able to locate the victim because they pinged her phone, because she was smart enough to take her phone with her and not listen to that dumbass, okay? And then even though he made her turn her phone off, I don't know if she did or didn't, but maybe when she grabbed the phone and ran out, somehow they pinged her location. The last known location was there. They got records from Uber as well. It took her there. The police went there and they found her. That's amazing timing as well. So she said that officers in Philadelphia were able to locate the victim, and they took her to the police station until her mother arrived. Her mother drove the 4 hours and 10 minutes. Yeah, the 278 miles, the 477 kilometers. Imagine how scared she must have been. Like, her mother's like starting the car and being like, holy crap, I'm going to go and fetch her. I can't believe this happened. So it was early morning hours of March 14th when she had snuck out of the house. And already on the same day, she was rescued, which is just really amazing as well, right? Okay, so the mother made the drive all the way there to go and pick up her daughter. And so the victim told the police that if Lopez decided to come after her, she already thought about this, she hoped that the person in the hallway would call the police. Her mother told the police back in Westmoreland County that she may have met a man on social media who convinced her to travel across the state, but she wasn't sure how she would have made it there. And maybe the mother watches true crime. Maybe the mother's a grizzly, for all we know. If anyone wants to reach out to me, I keep all my sources anonymous, and my email is grizzlytruecrime@gmail.com. Her mother had told the police, as I said, that she met this man. So she thought about that, like, oh my word, like this is, she leaves this note, and the note's very concerning, and like she probably met someone online, and off she went. When the mother was on the way back to Greensburg with the victim, she called the police back and then told them, yeah, her daughter had been talking to a man named Angel Lopez, 19 years old, on TikTok. See, that helped the investigation. Because obviously the mother then spoke to her daughter. Her daughter told her, well, there's this guy and there's all these messages. And then the police took the victim's phone, and they were able to extract a whole lot of information and bust that ass. Yeah, they got him. Took a little while, because that was on March 14th. They arrested him on March 27th. But we'll get there. So Greensburg police were notified at about 6:45 a.m. on March 14th by the victim's mother that she was missing and had left a note indicating that she ran away. I think that's amazing as well. The mother didn't go like, oh, okay, well, what? That's a strange note, and like, let's see what happens. The mother immediately called the police. I think the mother did everything right in this case, right? Is Joe Jackalone here with us? Welcome. I can't see you right now, but hello, Joe Jackalone. Thank you so much for being here. If you guys didn't check out Joe Jackalone's premiere that happened today, go and check it out, okay? So that's about the Long Island serial killer case. Now, police were able to ping the victim's phone location, which was near Ogons Avenue in Philadelphia, these Regency Village apartments. A statewide effort ensured that the 13-year-old girl involved made it home safely, where she's back home now and she's okay, but I can't imagine the psychological trauma of this. GPS coordinates provided by Uber through a search warrant confirmed the transport from Greensburg to Philadelphia, with the destination ending near his apartment. Agencies included in this investigation were the Greensburg City Police, the Westmoreland County District Attorney's Office, the Pennsylvania State Police, Philadelphia Police's Special Victims Unit, and the Pennsylvania Attorney General's Child Predator Unit, which were integral to this investigation. So everybody, they acted so quick. I think that everybody did amazingly in this investigation, and I'm so glad that the victim is alive and okay, but shame. I can't imagine the trauma. One thing I do want to say is I think what could be impactful, just in case any teenager listens, not that they should be watching true crime, but in case they listen, I think it would be impactful to talk about the experience to other teenagers, right? To like maybe, I was just thinking, like maybe do some speeches, because I don't know, it's always us, we're old guys, it's us talking about it, or press conferences, and maybe some teens just don't relate to that. I just think like teen or young adult spokespersons could really help to get the message through as well, like go around to schools and tell children about this as well. So, because the MO is so similar every time. Oh my goodness. Now the arrest. There's a horde 19. Look at that guy. I will say it so many times. 19. Guys, are you sure? Date of birth. Are you sure, guys? 19. Look at him. Sure. And he was like, I'm going to show you a clip of him as well in court. He's like smirking. He looks quite impressed with himself, actually. Ew. Dee says, thank goodness for good news. Glad she's safe. Me too. Thank you so much for being a member for 15 months. Now the arrest. With the help of the Westmoreland County District Attorney's Office, digital forensic analysts, investigators were able to retrieve data from the victim's devices that detailed the exorbitant number of messages exchanged between the victim and the defendant, including graphic videos. A search warrant was issued by the Pennsylvania Attorney General's Child Predator Unit for Lopez's apartment on March 27th. So it took a little bit of time to get that search warrant going, to get the Uber search warrant going. All of those things take time, but still, in the big picture, it's actually pretty quick. He was arrested on that day. I hope they found the hairs that she pulled out there in his bedroom. Yeah, They got surveillance footage. They got the Uber records. They got the cell phone records. They've got him on video. They have a lot of evidence against this guy at this point. And so, yeah, he was arrested on March 27th of 2025 in Philadelphia, and he's being held in the Westmoreland County Jail, and he's been denied bond. You know, one of the first things that I want to look for is, did they get bond? Because in some cases, we get a little disappointed, like the Waterbury captive case. We're like, wow, then they're out on bond, just like that, hey? This one has been denied bond. He's got 14 felony charges so far, including kidnapping a minor, trafficking, involuntary, deviate sexual intercourse of a person less than 16, unlawful contact of a minor, interference with child custody, statutory sexual assault, and aggravated sexual assault. Wow. He appeared in court on Thursday, April 10th. That was just this last week, Thursday. Today, this live stream is April 12th of 2025. And so, finally, then this case hit the news a little bit, because I didn't know about it before this, but I'm like, oh, okay, who's this guy? 19. Okay, April 10th, he was there for a preliminary hearing. Oh, and so, sorry, I copied my own little message here. Wrong. Indecent assault of a child, sexual abuse of a child, corruption of minors, criminal use of communication facility are part of the charges. He will next be in court on May 14th of 2025, right? Who says he has a child? Who says that? Who says it? Does he? I don't know about that. I just know that he's 19 years old and living in those apartments and paying $462-ish, approximately, dollars to have a 13-year-old come to his home and saying, leave no trace behind. They'll never find you anyway. Wow. Now, what the victim's mother says, she said that when she saw the note, she immediately knew that something was wrong and she called the police. There were some things in there like, I love you, Mom, and stuff like that. Like, yeah, that was my daughter. But then there were things that were questionable. She said, I hate him so bad. He took the innocence of my daughter. Give me 5 minutes with them. That's all I have to say. She's a grizzly mama bear, right? Okay. And so she said, I always see things on social media or the news, and I'm like, that'll never happen to me. See, she's aware of these types of cases. And she's like, that'll never happen to me. It's not true at all. It can happen no matter what. And that's also important. It's also an important lesson to know that it can happen to anyone. Very sad. That's why education is key. She said it's very important that everybody just pay attention to your kids. They do show signs of just putting themselves in their room. They don't want to do activities they normally do. Those were the things that I noticed and that I ignored. Didn't think that it was anything of it. And then looking back, my daughter was being manipulated by a grown man. Very good advice as well, because she's like, I ignored it. I saw it, but I didn't really think much of it. But now to know, holy crap, she was like in her room all the time, on her phone all the time, didn't want to do the activities she normally wanted to do as a 13-year-old as well. Wow. Like maybe she just thought, okay, well, maybe she's having a bad week or whatever it is. No, like this is the potential. There could be these online predators pushing them to take explicit pictures of themselves and videos, and then either sextorting them or luring them, and pushing them to take an Uber to their house 4 hours away. Holy crap. So she said these girls, they're young, they're going through changes. So to be groomed, to be lured, it's very easy to get their attention. So I just want to say, check your kids' social media. I take that advice personally, just based on everything that we've studied about these cases. Yes, I think it's good, but I don't think the key is to control your kids' social media, because then they're just going to find other sneaky ways to talk to people and it could make the situation worse. So I really think the very best advice would be, in my personal opinion, to just have difficult conversations about like, look, man, this is how online predators work. This is what they do. They're going to push you to take naked pictures of yourself. Then they're going to threaten you. They're going to say they're going to take their own life. They're going to send a car to get you. They want you to come to their house. They're not going to come pick you up, or some will, but they want you to come to their house. They want you to leave your cell phone behind. They say no one will ever find you. Let's run away together. Oh no, that's all way too fast, way too much, and it's a predator. Okay, so she said because it was so easy for him to do this to my child, on top of the things that he made her do, to backtrack, to make sure he doesn't get caught, she's not the first one. I don't think so either. Now, that's the other thing. If anyone's seeing this and you experienced anything with this defendant, it would be very important to call the police and tell them about it, because it could help the state build their case and help protect other victims, or other people from ever being victims of this alleged predator. The district attorney, Zuccarelli, says, thank God this young lady's alive today. I am pleading with fellow parents in Westmoreland County and beyond, worldwide, today, when your children get off their buses, take a look at all of their electronic devices, look at the apps they've downloaded, and for goodness sake, get ready to have difficult conversations with them. That's important. See, that I can get on board with that. Get ready to have difficult conversations with them about their safety and the consequences of those applications on their devices. Thank you so much. Yeah, you said educate, do not restrict, teach them, right? Okay, so, all right. So we've gone through the presentation, and now we're going to be looking at the little press conference as well. It's only 6 minutes or so long. So I agree. Get ready to have difficult conversations. When your child is old enough to have a phone, they're going to have social media with parental controls on or not. We've seen so many cases where they will find a way. They will, right? They've got sneaky ways to find a way onto social media. So the key there would be to teach them, one, that's not love. No, that's not love. Whatever, like, think of this case. But I love you and I'm going to do this. No, you don't. You don't even know me, bro. You've met me on TikTok 4 days ago. How many other people are you talking to? Gross. No, that's not love. And then also, wow, coercive control, big lessons there. And just online safety, because it's dangerous, especially for children. Oh my goodness. But it is dangerous for everyone, so we can all learn from this. Now let's go to this press conference here.
Greensburg City Police and the Westmoreland County District.
This is the district attorney, Zuccarello, and this is from March 27th of 2025, the day that they arrested Angel Lopez.
Attorney's office are here today to announce the arrest of a 19-year-old Philadelphia man accused of kidnapping, trafficking, and sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl from Greensburg. The fact that this young victim is home is a direct result of local, county, and state law enforcement agencies working together. I cannot say enough about the collective, collaborative efforts of these agencies. The agencies include Greensburg City Police, the Westmoreland County District Attorney's Office, Pennsylvania State Police, and Philadelphia Police's special victims units that were integral to this investigation, as well as the Attorney General's sexual predators unit. I can't say enough about them. With the help of all of these agencies, detectives with Greensburg City Police and our own digital forensic analyst were able to conduct a thorough and extensive investigation resulting in the arrest today. Angel Lopez was taken into custody after a search warrant was executed at his apartment this morning in Philadelphia by the Pennsylvania Attorney General's Child Predator Unit under the direction of Attorney General Dave Sunday. First and foremost, I am so thankful this young lady is home. However, let this be a lesson to each and every child and parent out there. If this can happen in Greensburg, it can happen anywhere. We believe this victim was targeted through social media apps like TikTok. It was through their investigative efforts that the Greensburg police discovered another app called Wiz, quote, W-I-Z-Z, end quote, that raises concerns about the safety parameters surrounding children and their online activity. As parents, we need to be vigilant and monitor who our children are talking to and what apps are downloaded on their devices. Thank God this young lady is alive today. I am pleading with fellow parents in Westmoreland County and beyond. Today, when your children get off of their buses, take a look at all of their electronic devices. Look at the apps they have downloaded, and for goodness sakes, get ready to have difficult conversations with them about their safety and the consequences of those applications on their devices. We've learned through this investigation at this point that this relationship between these two individuals, the victim and the defendant, developed and culminated over just a 4-day period of time. On March 10th, the conversation started. On March 14th, the victim was in Philadelphia. That is frightening to me.
That's frightening to me as well. But it can be that quick. It can escalate that quickly, especially when these online predators have lots of experience talking to lots of teenagers, lots of kids. they know exactly how to push them in the corner, right? And be like, okay, like, but I'm sending an Uber your way. I especially got that for you because I love you so much. We're going to run away together. Leave your cell phone behind. Why don't you write a note and tell your parents not to look for you? Oh my goodness.
At this point, I just want to point out, I want to thank the members of the district attorney's office here on my team have worked so hard. I want to thank the Greensburg police that are here today as well. And I'm going to turn it over to the Greensburg police, Detective Sergeant Scalzo, who can speak to the investigation itself. Thank you, Detective.
Thank you. Okay, so on March 14th, 2025, the Greensburg City Police Department responded to a residence here in Greensburg for a missing 13-year-old child. Through investigation, we later determined by pinging her cell phone that she was actually at an intersection of West Olney Avenue and Ongont Street in the city of Philadelphia. And then when we put the GPS coordinates of that into the computer, we also found the Regency Village Apartments where this child was at. We were able to get in touch with her. Our patrol officers did a fantastic job initially responding to the call, wasted no time getting that cell phone ping so that we can find out where she was at. And because of that, we were able to contact the 35th precinct in Philadelphia that ultimately sent a police officer over to get the child and keep her safe inside of a precinct until her mother made the 4.5-hour drive from Greensburg to Philly to collect her.
That is amazing how everyone acted so quick. The mom woke up, saw her daughter wasn't there, saw the note, oh hell no, calling the police. The police are interacting with each other between these two areas 4 hours apart. Wow. It's amazing, right?
It wasn't until later on the way back to the Pittsburgh area that we were alerted to some crimes that occurred against this child while out there. So as soon as we got that information, it got brought back to my office, and then we immediately started working with the Westmoreland County District Attorney's Office to formulate an investigative plan on what should happen. So just a quick synopsis of the investigation and what had happened. Basically, 19-year-old Angel Lopez had solicited this minor on the app TikTok. And just to kind of give you guys a visual, this is March 10th. This is one day of text messages back and forth.
1 day. That's March 10th. Day 1. Look at the amount of messages that this alleged online predator is sending to this child. This is not over the 4 days. They said this is from March 10th, 1 day of printed out messages between them. Holy crap. Even teaching that if something is going at the speed of a bullet train, it's too fast, it's too much, it's coercive control, it's not love, it's not cute, it's not the love bombing. Oh hell no. Red flag, big red flag. Run for your life. Right? Just look at that. Like, oh my goodness, does he work? What does he do? Clearly not anymore. He's in jail now, being held on no bond, but like, wow.
1,862 pages of text messages on one day that he used to entice this child to get into an Uber that he paid for, to sneak out of her residence at 12:30 in the morning, something this child probably never would have imagined doing. But through the brainwashing techniques and the luring of this child through all these text messages, he convinced her to do that and make a 4.5-hour drive from the city of Greensburg to Philly. And unfortunately, once she got to the apartment, a variety of crimes were committed against her. So with the cooperation of the Westmoreland County District Attorney's Office, Pennsylvania State Police, and the Attorney General's Child Predator Unit, we were able to get boots on the ground in Philadelphia to help locate the exact apartment that this crime occurred in. And then through the investigative process, we came up with an arrest warrant for Angel Lopez, and then subsequently a search warrant for his apartment. And we were assisted this morning by the State Attorney General's Office and Pennsylvania State Police in the execution of that search warrant and arrest warrant of Angel Lopez. And he is now in custody and on his way back to Westmoreland County.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And that was the end of the press conference. I'm going to show you another clip now. Just hold on 1 second. Somebody also said, Black Knight said, whoa, that Uber driver should have asked for a parent's permission. I mean, I was discussing that with Mr. Grizzly. Like, what do you think about, sometimes I run cases by him, what do you think about this? I was just like, ooh, if you're an Uber driver, like if I'm an Uber driver, which means you're a private citizen, right? But you making money by driving in with the Uber app, okay? You're offering rides. If I see a 13-year-old, wow, even if that's paid for and you're driving 4.5 hours across, I wonder if Angel Lopez lied to the Uber driver. Just go pick up my cousin, go pick up my niece, whatever it is, we don't know. But just as a cautionary lesson, if one is a cab driver, Uber driver, whatever it is, giving someone a lift and they like look really young, I mean 13, wow, and you're going 4.5 hours across the country, same state, but 4.5 hour drive to go be dropped off at an apartment at past midnight, that's a red flag. I don't know. I feel like we talk too much about true crime, so I'd be like immediately calling 911, like what the hell is this? It might just be a good lesson though. Maybe. I just want to put it out there in case it helps anyone. If they see like, wait a minute, why am I picking up this child and where they're going, right? But we don't know the full context. Maybe, as I say, maybe the predator, alleged predator, instructed the victim to tell the Uber driver that you're my, I don't know what, friend, niece, cousin, who knows. Rob says, thanks for covering this case, G. The victim was so brave. Yes, the victim was so brave. What an amazing escape story. My goodness. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, sorry, let me take this banner off here. There's one more clip here. I'll show you the map as well in a moment just to show you how far it was. This clip, let's just see what, oh yeah, it's him in court. Here we go.
Prosecution moves forward of a man accused of using TikTok to lure a teenager to Philadelphia and sexually assaulting her. Only Pittsburgh's Action News 4 was at court. Our crew capturing video of Angel Lopez, who's in the yellow jumpsuit, entering Westmoreland County Court this morning. Police say back.
This guy looks like he's smirking. Do you see that? He looks like, okay, yeah. Like, I mean, whoa, what's his other criminal records, huh? He's only 19 years old. Whew, what a scary guy. To me, I mean, tell me what you read from his body language. I'm just like, is he smirking? He looks like he doesn't have a care in the world. Oh, my word.
In March, Lopez began messaging the girl on TikTok, then paid for her Uber ride to Philadelphia. Well, that teen is now safe back at home. The case will now move to the Court of Common Pleas. Prosecutors charge Lopez with kidnapping and sexual abuse of a minor. His next day in court is May 14th.
Yeah, May 14th. Just look at this guy. Look at him. Are you smiling, sir? Wow. Look at that physiology. Let's just do it like this. Look at him. Sure. I wonder what he was doing. Maybe he went to shower or something when she was able to run, right? It's amazing that she saw the moment and she ran for it. Okay, there's this other clip as well where they say her mother speaks. They don't show her mother because they're trying to protect the identity of the victim.
This even happened.
And then found out she was in Philadelphia, and as soon as I found out she sent that location, I was gone. I was on my way out there to go get her.
Pittsburgh's Action News 4 is not identifying the mother of the teenager to protect the identity of the young girl. The 13-year-old is now back at home in Greensburg after a horrific situation. According to a criminal complaint, 19-year-old Angel Lopez kidnapped and sexually assaulted the teenager. Police say Lopez convinced the teen to run away. They say the conversations on TikTok began on March 10th. And by March 14th, Lopez paid for an Uber for the girl to travel more than 250 miles away to meet him in Philadelphia. They say at his apartment, he sexually assaulted the girl, but she managed to escape. Her mother and police have a warning to parents about social media.
This is one day of text messages back and forth. 1,862 pages of text messages on one day.
It's very important that everybody just pay attention to your kids. They do show signs of just putting themselves in their room, don't want to do activities that they normally do. Those were things that I noticed that I ignored, didn't think that it was anything of it. Then looking back, my daughter was being manipulated by a grown man.
Absolutely. So those are some good lessons. Also, let me just quickly show you. It's a very quick map time. Let me show you, okay? Hold on one second. Okay, and we are back. Let me just quickly show you just how far that drive really was. I mean, obviously, you know, I'm just gonna I'm gonna have a look. Well, how far was this drive? I could hear the miles, the kilometers, all of that. But like, damn, shame. Sitting an Uber to Greensburg and having that Uber drive over 4 hours, 280 miles to this Ogons Avenue in Philadelphia. So it would be around here. Ogons Avenue. Okay, let's go there. Now, I wonder if neighbors, maybe they're only hearing of this now. It would be in this apartment block that he stayed, where the Uber went to. And the Uber driver said, as we read just based on the criminal complaint, that she was dropped off near the apartment. So you see, even that, maybe he told the Uber driver to drop her off like whatever it was, a block away or something. That's another red flag. So anyway, this would be the apartment block that the victim had gone to, where the alleged predator lived, and it's where she escaped from, and then the police thankfully were able to find her. But I wonder if neighbors would maybe be watching this and thinking, holy crap, if you saw anything, if you know anything, if you saw that person with other young girls or boys or young victims going into that apartment, yeah, it would be important to tell the police, because you just never know. I can only imagine the amount of evidence they could still be going through in his apartment, because I, in my gut, also don't feel this is his first time, you know, and that's what her mother also believes, that this is not his first time, because he's got way too much in place, you know. It sounds like he's had some practice. And when did he start? And what else will his phone reveal? Wonder if he deleted lots of things or tried to factory reset his phone. Did he? Did he try to factory reset it? They're going to find things. Uncle Google's going to get you. Hopefully they can get all the TikTok records, all the Wiz records, all the whatever, Telegram, Snapchat, all the things, right? Okay. Yeah, KK says, are you saying there was a 4-hour Uber drive and the Uber driver never spoke to the child? That's why I don't know. I don't know. You know, and as someone said earlier, but maybe she was instructed to say, I'm visiting my sick grandmother or whatever it is. Could be. But damn, it's a long drive as well to be thinking about all that, and for the Uber driver to be like, holy crap, I'm taking a child. Quite far, 4 hours and 10 minutes, but you never know. We don't know that context, so I don't want to blame anyone there. I'm not trying to blame the Uber driver. I'm just saying, maybe if one is an Uber driver or whatever, if you see a very young, like a young child or a child being driven that far, maybe ask a question or two, right? Might not help though. Who knows? Letteros by Bettero said, GTC, there's no one better. Thank you so much. So, thank you so much, everyone, for studying this case with me. His next day in court is May 14th of 2025. Let me actually, I forgot to show you. How could I forget to show you the documents? Just the charges, just to show you these. Thank you so much to MB Inc. for finding these for me today. This is a summary of his charges here. So Angel Lopez, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus Angel Lopez. And it says date filed 4/11/2025, formal arraignment. He'll be formally arraigned on the 14th of May of 2025. And as you can see, this is actually a better one that just shows all of the charges. Look at that. Kidnapping of a minor, facilitate felony or flight, interference with custody of children, trafficking in individuals, recruit, entice, solicit, statutory sexual assault 4 to 8 years older, IDSI person less than 16 years of age, aggravated indecent assault, wow, corruption of minors, defendant age 18 or above, photograph, film, depict on computer sex act knowingly or permitting child unlawful contact with minor, sexual offenses, criminal use of communication facility. So that's already a lot of charges. And as I say, I wonder what on earth else they would find on his phone, because I'm sure on his phone or hard drives at his home, there must be a lot of things. Now, for those of you asking for Joe Jacalone's channel, I'm putting it, there's the link. I put it there in the chat right now. You can find him there. True Crime with the Sarge. He is back, everyone. Let me just expand this. Hold on one second. So if you missed his video today, so many people have, many of you have been emailing me saying, where is he? He's back. Go watch this video, In the Search of Peaches, okay? So that premiered today. And go check out Joe Jacalone's channel. It's called True Crime with the Sarge. All right, everyone. So thank you so much for being here with me as we continue to study this case and cases like this, because as I say, there's always lessons to be learned. If you are a YouTube member, we will have a members only stream. I plan to do that tomorrow. So we didn't have our usual-ish, we don't always have it on a Friday, but usually, yeah. So we didn't have that, we might have that, we will have that tomorrow, okay? So I will set that up for you. Make sure you check the community tab and you should get the notification, as always, half an hour before and when I go live. Shauna said, my daughter ran away when she was 16. She's now 31 with a 13-year-old daughter. I wish I had GTC back then. Happy I do now to protect my grandkids. Thank you for sharing, Shauna. Thank you for being a member for 27 months as well. And I'm glad your daughter is safe. All right, everyone. I will see you again very soon. Stay safe.